Hi, this video is about using T-90 to compare Battlefield 3 statistics over time and between different players. T-90 gets its statistics from bf3stats.com. This allows it to show all of that site's leaderboards. Of course, I want to thank everyone at bf3stats for making the data easy for me to access. When you open the program for the first time, you'll see this message. This is because this program has a bit of a steep learning curve, although many people have said that it's pretty intuitive once they've actually tried it out and they figure the controls out. Hopefully, since you're watching these videos, you won't need to read the documentation. But if you would like to see it, click on Show Documentation, and you should see the files. Note that there's two files with the same name. That's for people who don't have a document viewer like Microsoft Office. So there are really only two documents here. Controls is a list of the controls and shortcuts and what you can drag onto where in order to get the program to work. Documentation is more for getting started, explaining what the program is, and acknowledgments for everyone who's helped. Once you've had a chance to look at the documentation, if you're interested, you can close this message, and it shouldn't appear next time you start the application. I'm going to start out by describing the different areas of the program. This is what I call the left panel. It allows you to manipulate files, which I'll explain in a later video, and add series to the plots, which we'll get to shortly. This is the middle area, and it shows all the plots that you're currently looking at. And this is the right panel. This button adds a plot, and this trash can is where you drag things to remove them from the program. I'll explain both of those later in this video. The first thing we need to do in order to view statistics is to add series. You want to go to the left panel and make sure the series tab is highlighted. Then choose one or more players. We'll start up by just choosing one, Team A. Now select a series from the list here. We're going to start out with kills because it's the statistic that most players will probably want to see. Click and drag it onto the middle of a plot to show it. As you can see, this is Team A's kills from August through February. But we don't just have to use one series. We can compare the statistics of Team A with someone else. Go over to the series panel and let's select another player. And again, let's use kills. Click and drag the series onto the plot. And we're now comparing two players. You can remove a series from the plot by clicking on it when it's highlighted and dragging it to the trash. Let's add that series back again. Now, we don't just have to view series on one plot. You can add more plots if you'd like. Click on the Add Plot button. Now, you can add as many plots as you want, but they share space in the middle area, so you may want to add only one or two. Now, series can be removed between plots by clicking and dragging, and just move over the center of the plot to drop it. Or if you hold the control button like I am now, the series will instead be copied. And it's not only series that can be removed using the trash button. Click somewhere in the plot that's not over a series, meaning a series is not highlighted, and drag it to the trash. And now we're back to our original plot. Now you may be thinking, so what if one player has more kills? It all depends on how much that player has played. You don't just have to plot by date. You can actually plot by any statistic in the series. For example, let's compare these two players using the amount of time they've played. Now, instead of dragging the series onto the middle here, drag it onto the x-axis. And you can now see that these players have gotten just about the same number of kills for the time that they've played. But we don't have to use the same statistic for two different players. First, let's delete this plot and start over. Let's say you want to compare different vehicle categories. These are classes of vehicle like tanks or attack jets. Let's use tanks. You can actually select more than one series at a time by clicking in one, holding down the shift button, and clicking on the other. You can also add individual items by holding down the control button and clicking on each one. And you can also do Control A to select everything in the list, but that's really not a good idea. So let's drag all these series at once, and we can compare all of these variables. Now you can see that there are many y-axes, but there's only one x-axis. It would be impossible to use more than one axis, or at least it wouldn't make much sense. You may have noticed that there could be a big gap in between data points. Each data point is a single point in time where all of a player's statistics are captured from bf3stats.com. If you'd like to know what the value is in the middle, just move your mouse over the series until it's highlighted, and click and drag your mouse from within the same plot. And you can see the value increase as you drag the mouse. You'll also notice that when you move your mouse over a series, the y-axis will be highlighted. So we can see that the kills axis is highlighted now when we're over MBT kills. And when we're over MBT score per minute, the score per minute axis is highlighted. You can move axes to different sides of the plot. You'll see a lime green indicator showing where the axis will be inserted. X-axes can be moved above and below, and y-axes can be moved to the left and right of the plot. I hope you found the program much easier to use now that you know the controls.